D and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing season 1 episode 3 of House of the Dragon. I haven't been looking online, so I don't know what this episode is called. The title will be in my description and everything like that. Last week I didn't do a watch with me reaction video just because I wasn't feeling well. I'm by myself this week because my sister has got some things to do. So we're probably going to meet up like next week for episode 4. But we're just going to do a quick run through of last week's episode. It was kind of odd, but there were some really, really cool moments to me. So we had to deal with people pressuring Viserys to marry again, to strengthen his family line and secure his family on the throne. His brother clearly was up to no good. That was actually one of my favorite moments from last week's episode. He went to King's Landing, took the egg that was supposed to belong to his nephew, perched himself high and mighty on frickin' Dragonstone, declared himself the Prince of Dragonstone, which is what the heir is the only one that's supposed to do that, is to declare himself the Prince of Dragonstone and live on Dragonstone. Took his niece's brother's egg, declared that he was marrying his paramour and that he was going to marry her, even though he already has a wife. So then Viserys got really upset, obviously, and was like, I'll go to Dragonstone and deal with him myself. Now, Sir Otto is very suspect to me. He's up to no good. And the end of the episode, you see what he's really trying and pushing for. So he was like, oh, no, don't do that. I think, well, it's clear, it's obvious, he doesn't like Daemon. They are not besties. They are not good friends. They do not get along. And he fears that if Viserys and Daemon have some one-on-one time and really talk and really get to the bottom of their issues. First of all, that whole family, they need therapy. But he fears that if they really get to the bottom of their issues, that they're going to work it out. And he doesn't want that. He needs instability. He needs chaos. Because chaos is a ladder. For those who know Game of Thrones, they know exactly who said it, when they said it, and the context that it was brought in. So he was like, no, I'll go to Dragonstone and deal with Daemon. So he gets to Dragonstone, and he's like, oh, you wouldn't survive this. First of all, he was insulting Mysaria, like, heavily, which I was like, even if you don't like the woman, you don't have to refer to her in those phrases at all whatsoever. He was doing it anyways. And Otto said something that was like super funny. He's like, oh, if we fight, you won't end this. You won't end, your life will end right here. And Daemon was like, so will yours. And then he called Sir Criston Cole Sir Crispin, the one that my sister thought was from the Ladybug House. And he was like, oh, you probably remember when I knocked you off your horse. And Daemon was like, yes, very good. I like Matt Smith as Daemon Targaryen. He is doing a phenomenal job as this character. And I'm just like, he's doing really, really good. So then he was like, oh, if you do this, you're going to be declaring war on the kingdom. And Daemon was like, yeah, okay, let's go, let's do it. And they all draw their swords on the bridge on Dragonstone. Caraxes came around the corner like, you called? Daddy, do you need me? Like, and I find it funny that they were surprised. Kristen Cold, Sir Westerling, Otto Hightower, the Dragon Keepers that were there. Otto had a High Maester there. Or a Maester. I don't know why you would bring a Maester to Dragonstone, but he did. He bought a Maester. Everyone on the bridge is like, "There's a dragon on Dragon." Like they looked so surprised. They looked so confused, and I was like, "How else would you get to Dragonstone if you were a dragon rider? You just go on a dragon." And I am so looking forward to. I would love a scene where they just show all of the random dragons just hanging out on Dragonstone eventually, because I know that there's going to be there's a bunch of dragons just chilling, waiting for riders. So Caraxes is there. He's like, "Daddy, you called." Comes around the corner, screams at everybody. Damon is just like, "Yep, that's my baby. That's my boy." And, Serrato's like, "Oh, put away all your weapons." Well, you drew your weapons on this dragon's rider. And dragons and dragon riders share a connection and emotion. They are one and the same people. So obviously, Caraxes is gonna sense that his rider is in danger. So of course he's gonna show up. What did they expect was gonna happen? And of course that's gonna happen. So then my next favorite scene was, and it's funny because if you watch it, I've watched this episode like 3 million times just to really take it all in. If you watch it, there is a moment where Damon's holding his sword out to Serrato, and he hears Rhaenyra show up on Syrax, but he hears it before anybody else, and you see him look to his left, and he drops his sword automatically. Because, in all honesty, I don't think Damon really wants a war. He just, as I think it was Gray Area on YouTube said, he just wants a hug from his brother. Both of their parents are gone. Their grandparents are gone. Rhaenys, the queen who never was, and Viserys are the only family, really, that he has left that, have some sort of power and semblance in King's Landing. And so he just needs a hug. He just wants his brother's attention. That's all he did it for. He just wants his brother's attention. So then Rhaenyra shows up on Syrax. Beautiful, beautiful scene. The way she came up out of those clouds and the way those clouds parted like a shark trying to emerge from the water. I was like, visually, this is spectacular. I love it. She shows up and she's just like, "Don't startle Syrax." She's protective of me, aka "Don't touch me or you'll burn." So I think there was a funny scene where she's getting off of the dragon and she's walking towards Daemon and Otto, and Daemon just hugs the egg, hugs it. Because, like I said, he doesn't want a war with his family. He just wants his family's attention. He just wants them to be like, "Yes, we see you, we recognize you, we notice you, we get it. We're here for you. Let's sit down and talk." Again, that family needs therapy. And he gives it to her. She calls his bluff, and he gives her the egg. Well, he tosses it like a football, which I was like, oh my gosh. He tosses it like a football and is just like, "Here you go," and then walks away. And then Daemon and Mysaria have their conversation. Back in King's Landing, Otto's up to no good, you guys. I swear, this man needs to be bathed in glorious dragon fire, in my opinion, because he has manipulated the king to the point where he's gotten his family in with the royal family. Now, in Corlys's defense, And I'm not defending anything he's done as regards to his daughter and the age situation. It's wrong across the board. Let's just say that straight out the gate. However, he was upfront about his intentions. He was like, yes, let's marry our family. Let's join our houses. Now, in the books, the series is like in his mid 20s, and Lena is teenager, which is wrong. However, in that time period, that is what they did. They married young. In the books, Aemma Arryn and Viserys married young, and she was having a lot of miscarriages. One, because she was young, and second, because she was his cousin. Incest. This shows a lot of incest. Uh, so yeah, people were like, "Oh, it's wrong." Yes, it is wrong. And him going after Alicent is not any better. However, Alicent is a bit older. It's still wrong. So the episode ended with him announcing his engagement to Alicent, which that scene, watching Rhaenyra in that scene killed me. She literally, you see her literally die inside. Because here's this girl who's been her friend at court for 9+ years, you know, been through her, been through with her with everything. The passing of her siblings, the passing of her mother, dealing with her father, dealing with her father. And then you're just gonna stand there and be like, yeah, I'm gonna make her dad. Listen, hands would be thrown if that were me. Like, there'd be hands thrown and someone wouldn't make it out of there alive. And so you're gonna see, I think in this episode, you're gonna see that relationship just completely fall apart. And you're gonna see the relationship between her, Rhaenyra, and her father, that wasn't good to begin with, crumble. Like, they started and they were building and it was great, and then the end of that episode, it just dissolved like cotton candy in water. It was just done. So yeah, here we go with episode 3, guys. Before we get that part, I didn't even say this in the beginning. I want to thank all of my new subscribers. I've gotten like 3 or 4 new subscribers, which I'm super, super thankful for. I also have been getting a lot of people watching my Vlogmas, which I am thankful for from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Don't forget to comment, smash those like and comment and subscribe buttons. I've been getting some comments. I got one this morning. The person who commented, it wasn't a great comment, but I'm not here to argue. And I have to remember that this story is not real. None of this is real. And so me breaking down the characters from my Vlogmas, I did this, remember, we are now in September. I did this back the beginning of December of last year. So I was still trying to get accustomed and get used to doing YouTube videos and recording and dealing with my voice and pacing and everything like that. So, some of the comments that I've been getting haven't been the greatest, but I'm not here to argue. I still thank you for your comments, and I understand that my voice may not be the most soothing in the world. But at that time, my channel was still growing, and it is still growing, and it will continue to grow. So I want to thank everyone for the comments, negative or positive. I'm still going to thank you for your comments, and I appreciate you at least watching one of my videos, whatever one you decide to comment on. But don't forget to like as well, because I've been getting a lot of watches, but not that many likes. And the likes is what really pushes the algorithm and pushes everything through so that more people see my content. So thank you all to my new subscribers. Thank you to the comments and all the views and everything. I really, really appreciate it. Now, let's get into Season 1, Episode 3, House of the Dragon. Also, they've been renewed for Season 2 a week, 2 weeks after. They've just been smashing HBO records across the board, which I'm super, super excited and for. I can't wait for Season 2. And if Season 1 ends where I think it's going to end, then Season 2 is going to start off with a banger for sure. I hope it ends on a cliffhanger and picks up right as we're dropping off that cliff to go into Season 2. It's going to be great. So, before we begin, just want to say the footage that we are about to view and see and listen to doesn't belong to me. It belongs to HBO Canada. So, here we go, guys. Also, they did the new intro for last week, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's the Targaryen family tree. So let's see the new branches that they added. Here we go. Okay, let's see what this episode is called. Second of his name. Okay. We do not skip the intros. Ooh. Okay. Oh. Theirs is different. So we just watched the intro, and there are definitely some new lines added, which I think is amazing. Oh, we're starting out with a banger. Damn! Oh my gosh! Yo, this man coming in bringing in fire! Holy crap! Wow! What an opening! So you have a time jump. I don't even know if you heard me. You have a time jump from episode 2 to episode 3. It's been 3 years. Yummy.
The Queen commands you to leave the Godswood at once.
Oh! Oh, it's a power play we're doing. Oh. Yeah.
The King wishes you to join us.
Good.
He has much to celebrate. He does not need me.
He wants for us all to be together. Perhaps the hunt could be fun.
Is it the King's command?
Yes, but
Then at once, Your Grace.
it needn't be. None of it needs be this way in truth, Rhaenyra.
Yes, but really, let's be real. You stabbed her in the back. You honestly think she's gonna be okay? I wouldn't be okay. Backside hole. That was a subtle and epic burn, and I loved it. And there's House Lannister, and House Strong, and House Hightower, and House Targaryen. Oh, she's pissed. But I think she's more disappointed than anything.
The princess was more suited to the role.
He's made a mess and the king must put an end to it.
Was?
Send
I heard the
fleets
was.
of men and clear out the princess. Though your father refuses to admit it, we've been dragged into it by your uncle and the sea snake.
Yes.
Southern fleets, Lady Red Wine, wait and keep.
Red wine! That's Olenna's descendant family. Yo, this episode's good. Oh.
Lord Jason Lannister.
Lannister!
Found out from all the lions.
I don't think we've been properly introduced, we found a costly rock near my home.
Oh my goodness, they're dropping. They're name dropping,
Once.
and I love it.
On tour with my mother when I was young, and honestly can't recall much of that either.
The rock. I don't have a dragon pit, of course, but I do have the means and resources to build one.
Why would you need a dragon pit?
To house dragons, of course. I do anything for my queen. Or lady wife.
Oh, oh, oh. Okay.
Thank you for the wine.
Yeah, she's not having it.
Is that what I am to you? A prize to proffer about to the great houses.
You're of age, Rhaenyra. Jason Lannister's an excellent match.
He's arrogant and so serious.
Well, I thought you might have that in common.
Ooh.
Since
And
you
that-
came of age, I've been slowly drowning in a lake of parchment flung from every corner of the realm. Marriage proposals all. And I have tried, often, to discuss it with you. But you've refused me at every turn.
That is because I do not wish to get married.
Even I do not exist above tradition and duty, Rhaenyra.
Excuse me, Your Grace.
Yo, everyone's tuning into this argument.
You must marry.
I'm noticing something. He's missing a finger. I need to get to the bottom of that.
I hope it might provide the killing stroke against Shane and feel herself well compensated for her loss in station.
What loss of station?
If you were to name young Avon heir, Your Grace.
And when would I be doing that?
Oh.
I had assumed, as he's your firstborn son.
So she's 17. It's been 3 years since he wed Alicent, and Rhaenyra is now 17. I don't know how old Alicent is. I think Alicent's around the same age. Not sure. They haven't said yet. Oh, it's just a boar. Love that. Love that for you. Get it, Rhaenyra. All right. She's taking out all her aggression. This is symbolism right here.
For the kill.
He's definitely missing a finger or 2 or 3. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. No, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Oh, that's symbolic as hell. Wow. Wow. That is amazing.
She
He
must
is.
needs marry a high lord who will honor her, defend her,
Oh
and
my
serve
God.
as king consort.
Oh my goodness.
Her wishes in
What?
this matter
Ew.
are irrelevant.
Oh
I do
no.
believe that Rhaenyra will marry your Grace.
But all the rest.
Oh god, that does not look good.
May I?
Oh my god, his hand does not look
If I now
good.
provide Damon and Corlys,
What?
You have him in hand now. You have no further use for me.
Oh, she's fighting.
You might as well peddle me for what you can. A mountain stronghold or a fleet of ships. For advantage, you would have wed Lena Velaryon.
Boom. Boom.
that is true enough.
They have these little moments that you're like, you're hopeful. You're like,
Rhaenyra.
yes. But then it just gets shattered. I love her dress. It has like the frolicky things that look like dragon wings. Love it. All right. Let's get to the action. Ooh, look at those ships. That grayscale ain't looking good. My god. Oh my god, he looks so bad. Yes! Look at him go! Oh, such such a good boy. Yo, he's loving it. Holy crap. Wow. 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 Okay. Well, that was something and a half. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. The stag that we see, that's a symbol of House Baratheon. Their sigil is a stag. So the fact that the dragon kills a stag symbolically says something. However, they weren't after the one that they wanted. They just found one and took it, ended its life. However, Rhaenyra seeing the white stag, which House Lannister said was a symbol of royalty before the Targaryens came, speaks volumes. It's almost like the white stag is acknowledging that, yes, she is the true heir, even though the king now has a son. And I love that. That is fantastic. Daemon on Caraxes and Laenor on his dragon. That man was having the time of his life on top of that dragon and just bathing everyone in glorious dragon fire. And I absolutely loved it. I was right about Viserys missing some fingers. He's missing, let's see, let's do on like my left hand, he's missing the pinky and the one next to the pinky. He's missing these two. And it's really, really, really not looking good. Like, even though they took the fingers off, the rot still seems to be spreading, which is gross. But all in all, what a great, great episode. And I can't wait till next week. Hopefully, my sister will be back next week and we will watch it together. So thank you so much for watching this reaction video with me. And don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Let me know what moment in this episode was your favorite. My favorites were Rhaenyra seeing the white stag. Amazing. Her killing that boar, or the pig, or whatever, that was insane. And then Daemon on Caraxes and Laenor on Sea Smoke. That was just absolutely brilliant. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. Peace out. Till next time.